Welcome everyone to the Salon. It is my great pleasure to present a very special program featuring different artistic disciplines and many collaborations dedicated to the memory of Manfred Fischbeck. Manfred was co-founder and artistic director of Group Motion Dance with Brigitte Hermann, founded in 1968. Group Motion is one of Philadelphia's longest-running contemporary dance organizations and still going under Brigitte's leadership. There are also offshoots, Group Motion in Rennes, France, led by Brigitte and Manfred's daughter, Lena. Group Motion on the main line and Arden in Motion. See our team member, Laura, to learn more. Manfred was born in Tanzania and raised in East Germany. He became a vital force in Philadelphia's dance scene. A passionate collaborator and innovator, Manfred merged dance, theater, multimedia, and technology, creating numerous works with other artists and touring in the US and abroad. He was also a gifted musician and poet whose expansive writings invited others into his vision of a larger space of love. Manfred served on the dance faculty at University of the Arts and the theater arts faculty at University of Pennsylvania. Generous and compassionate with a rare ability to see others from the inside, he mentored countless artists throughout his career. He believed deeply in the power of dance to reveal our truest selves and connect with others. Manfred was my partner and artistic collaborator for many years. He not only performed with his poetry, music, and dance in decades of salons, but also volunteered monthly on the salon team for 35 years. In 2019, he was violently struck by a speeding car while crossing a street in West Philadelphia on his way to lead a group motion dance workshop. Complications from this accident led to his passing on March 17, 2021. Ever creating, even while in rehab, Manfred led online workshops, wrote poetry, collaborated with music and video, as you will soon see, and performed with a small synthesizer. He and I even kept an arts journal and sent our entries in the form of music and poetry to one another during that time. In rehab, he started creating his final piece, the Heritage Project, where 8 dancers explored their national and international origins. The work premiered just days before Manfred passed. Many performances tonight connect to Manfred's passion for interdisciplinary collaboration, intercultural connection, and co-creation. We carry forward the light of his vision that art and artists can lead the way to a transformed world. We honor his enduring love of community and his dream for global peace. Those of us blessed to know him hold this torch in our heart. Sorry. Tonight and always, loss stays with you, right? With Manfred's enthusiastic support and encouragement, I founded this salon in 1986, when I was 26, to continue the long European tradition of music in the home, foster collaboration among artists, and build a vibrant community around music. In 2020, I had to cancel for the first time because of COVID, and with the help of Adam Vidixis, we took the salon online in April 2020. The online salon became a lifeline for many during that year of lockdown. In 2021, with Gerardo Rizzoni's vision and expertise, we started this hybrid format, live and online, streaming in and out. Just a few days before Manfred passed in 2021, he attended a salon team meeting. I remember how passionate he was about continuing the live stream and nurturing the online community that had become an important part of the salon through COVID. For 39 years, I've maintained the same format, 10 ensembles, 10 minutes each, across a wide spectrum of genres and styles. The diverse programming creates a cross-fertilization of audiences and features a unique sharing of artistic expression. Since 1986, a beautiful community has been formed. Over 19,000 audience members and 9,000 performers have graced my living room, expanding globally through the hybrid format. In our busy lives, how often do we make time to drop in, exhale, be receptive, and quiet inside? I invite you to listen deeply. Stay open to many different forms of expression, some perhaps less familiar to you. Afterward, you'll have the opportunity to engage with the artist during an informal conversation. Tonight, I'll briefly introduce each performer, but I highly encourage you to read more about them on our program page. The link is posted in the chat. Please consider supporting the Salon and its artists. Every contribution helps. You can make a simple tax-deductible donation through Crossroads Music. That link is in the chat and on our website, zalonarts.org. You can click on the link if you're on Zoom and not lose the live stream. My team and I gladly volunteer to keep this heart space of music and arts alive. I'd like to give a shout out to a few folks. Artist Mia Bosna creates the gorgeous Salon logos, a special one for tonight that you would have seen in the newsletters and posts. A big thank you to Michael Schweisheimer for stepping in for Vartan Sarkisian as our stage manager. Vartan is performing tonight. Thank you, Michael. Wonderful to have you back. Also, I believe our journalist and Philadelphia Inquirer architecture critic Inga Safran is here tonight. In April 2011, Inga wrote an article called Building Sale Could Bring Down Curtain on Music Salon. It was a piece that captured the Salon's perfect marriage of space, fusion, and soul, and sounded the alarm when the Salon was at risk of losing its home. The owner wished to sell, and as a renter, I would have had to move. Inga's article created a wave of awareness and mobilized an extraordinary team of people. 12 investors formed an LLC. Contributors around the country sent donations in cash to a real estate agent friend, Robin Rose. Our offer was accepted. Sydenham Partners bought the building, and the Salon was saved. The Salon's 40th anniversary. Thank you, Inga. The Salon's 40th anniversary is coming up in September, and none of it would have been possible without that miracle. So thank you to everyone who helped make that happen. I'm reminded of a sign at an artist residency that I like to go to in Taos, New Mexico, the Wurlitzer Foundation, and the sign says, "There is still time to do good things." Yes. We'll give that a punctuation. A huge thank you to tonight's volunteer team. It truly takes a village to run a hybrid event with 2 audiences, 2 sets of performers, and 2 teams. Please hold your applause until the end. Tech Director Gerardo Rizumni, Tech Assistant Michael Schlatter, Audio Engineer Joyce Lieberman, Zoom Engineers Alex Glass, Jordan Vernick, Miranda Peak, and Shrish Jawadawar, Display Master Tom West, Video Bill Houston, Stage Manager Michael Schweisheimer, Website Manager Lex Simakis, RSVPs Georgette Hamadi, Photographer and Lights Stephen Macbeth, and our house team assisting with the performers, green rooms, audience, food, and more, Jennifer Kopp-Lewis, Shannon Coulter, Stephen Macbeth, Laura Burton, Barbara Jo Saylor, Connie Copy, Mitzi Juni, Sharon Fisher, Nina Sherrick, Ray Watley, Dorit Amos, and Julian Hartwell. I feel so fortunate to have the privilege of working with these dedicated teams and fabulous humans. Can we give them some love? And now we begin. Our first artist, Todd Breitling, is a versatile creator. He's a photographer, painter, designer, videographer, and sound artist. Todd aims to create a spontaneous visual journey for the eye. Learn more about Todd on our program page posted in the chat and on our website. Tonight, Todd will present Wind and Sky, a music video that he created with Manfred during the pandemic. Todd wrote that they created this piece while Manfred was in rehab after the accident, and that they both found this collaboration very uplifting and healing. Join me in giving a warm welcome to Todd Breitling.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much, Andrea, for hosting this wonderful event where I'm honored to be amidst dozens of superior, talented individuals. So thank you, everyone, and the team here for putting together this monstrous event. This is spectacular. Like I said, my name's Todd Breitling, and I'm a photographer, painter, poet, videographer, and clothing designer. I design women's clothing, leggings, pants, tank tops, dresses, all kinds of neat stuff. So I take my paintings and photographs and design them into all kinds of interesting designs for women to sport. So a little bit about me before I talk about the creation behind Manfred and I's video. As an MTV kid, I grew up enthralled with that medium of video. So that was the seed that got planted initially for me, based on this collaboration with Manfred. And from that, I first met Manfred about 20 years ago at a Friday night workshop in Group Motion in West Philadelphia through my lovely wife, Nina, which was somewhat intimidating for me, if I must be honest. I was not much of a dancer or a movement person, but Manfred taught me in time that it was okay for a man to move and to dance, and that was beautiful. He allowed me to see something in myself that I never really noticed before, something that I was not very comfortable in doing when I was growing up at all. And to this day, I still hear Manfred's voice in my head when I'm out and about doing everyday things. Move in the manner of a blade of grass. Move in the manner of slow motion. So he's still with us. And if you listen, you'll hear that voice. So a little bit about this piece. It came about while he was recovering from his accident. One night, Nina and I went to visit him in the hospital. He was upbeat as usual, and we got to talking. And, I think he had his laptop with him. I'm not sure. Maybe it was on his phone. And I was like, oh, what are you doing? Are you still creating stuff? And he's like, oh, sure. I was like, yeah, can I hear something? He's like, yeah. And he played me a couple pieces of music. I was like, would you be interested in collaborating sometime? I was somewhat timid in asking, because, Manfred's been around for 40, 50 years here in Philly, super creative guy, an extreme force in the creative world, and here I am. And he's like, yeah, I would love to do something together. So I was like, all right, here we go. So me being also a super creative, in super creative mode during COVID, I had a bunch of videos, a bunch of photographs that I had been working on. And as an MTV junkie, I wanted to put this collaboration into a video. So as I said, he said yes immediately. I was thrilled to be able to create with him. And so later that night, I sent him some video clips and some photographs. And before we know it, we were editing this, deleting that. We communicated back and forth over about 3-4 weeks. And before we know it, we had this video that we both were satisfied with. And so we put it out to the world, shared it amongst a few friends. And that was it. I thought it would be kind of unforeseen, gone, obscured through time forever, until now, when Andrea has this wonderful idea to support Manfred and to honor his memory. So I brought the idea to her last year. She's like, oh yeah, let's do it next year. So I said, okay, here we are. So I'm very honored to show this video, share it all with you. Just want to say we all love Manfred. We all miss him terribly. Now I present Wind and Sky. Thank you.
Thank you, Todd, for presenting that to us tonight. There's so much about who Manfred was, and just trying to imagine him, with his body basically shattered. He was in this rehab facility, seeing space and possibility and colors, and this beautiful otherness that he always created wherever he went. And this was really just a perfect opening to our program. So thank you, Todd. Reminds us of the healing space that co-creation can manifest. Our next performers have both presented their art at the Salon, but not yet together. I'm thrilled to present Megan Bridge, an internationally touring dancer, choreographer, and educator, also a certified group motion workshop leader, and Eassae, also is known as Eric, is a New York-based electronics composer, producer, who switched from being a painter in his 20s. His work is influenced by musical genres, literature, travel, and film sound design. Megan will dance to 2 electronic compositions by Eric Eassae, who came in from New York City. Let's give them both a warm welcome.
Having us this evening. So as Andrea mentioned at the top of the show, Manfred mentored countless artists, and I was one of them. He was a huge impact for me on my artistry. I joined Group Motion Dance Company as soon as I arrived in Philadelphia. It was my first professional gig. I was a member of the company in my early 20s from 2000 to 2005. And Manfred really gave me my love of improvisation, and I've been an improvising dancer ever since. And I think that tonight's collaboration with Eassae is sort of special, and also would have been right up Manfred's alley, because Andrea actually matched us up, and Eassae and I met for the first time this afternoon when we showed up for our sound check today. So he sent me music in advance, and I familiarized myself with it, but I said, okay, I'm just going to show up and do my thing, which is improvisation. And I just wanted to tell you that little story because I think it really relates to the kind of art that Manfred so loved: experimentalism, collaboration, co-creation, and really spontaneous creation. And he really gave me the kind of framework and courage that I needed to develop that sort of approach to my artistry myself. I think Eassae wants to say a few things about his music as well, and then we'll get started.
Hello. I just wanted to thank Andrea for letting me be here. Having something like this going for 40 years is just truly impressive, so thank you. I have 2 tracks for you from my most recent album, Beyond the Last Thought. It was released this past Friday the 13th. I'll play both tracks straight through, so please hold your applause till the end, and yeah.
Well, I think a new collaborative team has been birthed. That was just wonderful. Thank you so much, eassae, coming from New York, Megan. Truly inspired. Megan, I loved everything about your dance. I particularly was moved when you went to the piano, because Manfred would always play the piano for the dancers that he would bring in, and so I felt like you were honoring his presence here on the Szalon stage as well. I hope that you can stay and interact with us all at the reception. So while we're setting up for the next piece, I wanted to mention that the Szalon features mostly music, but on this particular month every year in March, I like to honor Manfred and have dancers and other art forms. So I call it the Interdisciplinary Szalon. And Manfred's former wife and 2 children are all dancers. And so they have performed at the Szalon before, and we are hoping that next year they'll join us again. So we've been discussing having the family back to perform in honor of Manfred next year. It's always a joy to welcome back my multi-talented longtime friend, Michal Schmidt, who will perform a work for cello and electronics by composer Anna Rubin, my esteemed colleague who came up from Maryland today. Israeli musician Michal Schmidt has been active as a cellist and pianist in the Philadelphia area since she came to study in the US and graduated from the Curtis Institute of Music in the early 80s. She received a master's degree from the University of the Arts and a DMA from Temple University. We were in school together for a time and studied with the same teacher. Michal has recorded 10 albums, and you're all invited to a celebration of this landmark event this coming Sunday at March 29th at 3 p.m. at the Ethical Society. Anna Rubin's music is propelled by her love of the speaking and singing voice, as well as environmental and political issues. Her electronic music has also accompanied stage, video, and dance. Beekeepers is a sound collage about bees and beekeepers, and Anna will tell us a little bit more. Join me in giving a special welcome to Michal Schmidt and Anna Rubin.
While Michal is setting up, I'll say a little more about the piece. And I want to thank Andrea and all of the volunteers for making this happen. About 15 years ago, I became obsessed with bees. There was a lot in the news about colony collapse disorder and so many other things. And a lot of pieces were generated out of that, and one of them is this one, The Beekeepers. I met a wonderful couple, Barbara and Jeff Crook, who raise bees in Central Maryland. And I recorded them and their bees and developed this piece. In the electronics, you'll hear them talking, and you'll also hear processed sounds, distorted sounds, and also sounds I generated and processed from the cello. And I'm very honored that Michal is performing. Michal is an amazing musician. And I created the electronics before, but Michal has truly collaborated in responding with her own artistry with that.
It's a swarm. If you see, if you see some seed in a tree or something like that, most likely it's a swarm from somebody nearby. It's gotten away, find some place to live, and is there, but they'll most likely die off in a year. And is there, but they'll most likely die off in a year or two. Good for a year. Next year it's gone. Yeah.
My first experience as a beekeeper is when my grandfather kept bees on a very small farm.
Now, back when he was raising bees, we're talking about the 1950s, something like that. He went out and just bought a swarm in the springtime, right back to the house, stuck it in a hive, stuck it in the hive, and then at the end of the season, when he went to harvest, they pulled the comb out, filled with honey, basically killed the bees just to be able to grab the honey. Now that was in the 1950s. If the hive has to split, create one of these swarms to go out and find a new honey, she will bleed with usually somewhere between a third and a half of the hive to go find a new home. That's when we see this huge gathering of bees outside the hive. It just looks like that they're ready to kill anything. They're not. The interesting thing is that's when they're the most awesome. They don't have anything to protect. Everyone moves to Put that close, you can hear the bees. Put that close, you can hear the bees.
Bees actually get used to their beekeepers. So Jeff normally goes there without any protection. I'm the beekeeper's keeper. Bees hanging up way beyond reach in one of these trees here. What they do is the queen, they just cluster around. So he gets the basket and he's trying in some way to get those bees. He chucks the bucket and he's trying in some way this cascade or avalanche of bees coming out, falling down to the earth. About 20 feet. Of course they did not land in the container. I don't even know how many of them actually rounded up after that. I said to him, I'm not getting the ladder for any. I'll get the ladder for any 911. I'll get the phone and call 911. He chucks the limo. This cascade avalanche of bees coming down the earth, falling down to the earth. About 20 feet. Of course they did not land in the container. I don't even know how many people actually rounded up after. Jeff always feeds the bees, and he takes care of them when there's no food out and losses and everything. But I do feel bad that it takes money. I'm always, when I understand how much effort, or how many bee lives it takes to make this honey.
To make a pound of them, it takes 2 million blossoms of flowers.
You know, I think they're kind of like sharecroppers, so okay, they can, you know, give a little for their housing and everything, but I don't like him to take too much so that they're left without their winter stores.
A commercial beekeeper that has 300 to 4,000 hives cannot individually
When you
take
compare
care
the life of the small beekeeper's bees with the commercial beekeeper, those bees, you can compare them to
It's a
the
business. It's a business. Because they need to make sure that those bees are producing at the maximum amount that they possibly can. So we take a little bit more time with our bees. We're a little more careful. A commercial beekeeper that has 300 to 4,000 hives cannot individually take care of them.
A swarm of bees in July. How does that fly? A swarm of bees in May is worth a load of hay. A swarm of bees in June is worth a silver spoon. A swarm of bees in July.
Thank you so much, Anna, for coming up and presenting your work, and Michal for that tour de force. We really were evoked by it, at least I was. I want to meet the beekeeper and the beekeeper's keeper. Our next performer, Avi Wisnia, is a jazz pop singer-songwriter with a great passion for life and music and has a most engaging stage presence. Avi tours in support of his newest album, Catching Leaves, performing in venues all around the world. He's given a TED Talk, performed with the Moth Storytellers, and is featured in the Emmy-nominated PBS documentary, How Saba Kept Singing, about his grandfather at Auschwitz. Avi currently hosts the series Philly Songwriters in the Round. Talk to Avi at the reception to learn more. Let's give some love to our friend, Avi Wisnia.
Thank you so much, Andrea. Thank you to everybody here. This is such a wonderful and unique performance experience. I have been fortunate to have been a part of several salons now, and the incredible community that is here, from the audience members that bring your vibes and your energy to the most creative and wonderfully talented musicians that I get to meet by being a part of these salons, which is always different and always unique every time I come. And so I try and bring something different from a different project that I'm working on every time. And tonight is no different. I'm going to present two works by Oscar Hammerstein. And I'm working on a program in tribute to the works of Oscar Hammerstein in conjunction with the Hammerstein Education Museum and Estate that is actually in Doylestown in Bucks County. I don't know how many of you know that Oscar Hammerstein had a summer house in Pennsylvania. And so we share that in common, although my house was a summer house and a winter house and a fall house, because I lived there all year round. But I grew up in Bucks County before settling back here in Philadelphia. So tonight, you're going to hear two interpretations of Oscar Hammerstein fusing these songs that are indelible to the great American songbook and musical theater with some jazz and classical influences as well. And I want to start with a song from 1928 that Oscar Hammerstein helped to write. It comes from the Broadway show, The New Moon. The sky was blue and high above. The moon was new and so was love. This eager heart of mine was singing, lover, where can you be? You came at last, love had its day. The day has passed, you've gone away. This aching heart of mine is singing, lover, come back to me. I remember every little thing you used to do. I'm so lonely. Every road I walked along with you. No wonder I'm lonely. The sky is blue, the night is cold, the moon is new, but love is old. And while I'm waiting here, this heart of mine is singing, lover, come back to me. The sky is blue, the night is cold, the moon is new, but love is old. This eager heart of mine still singing, lover, come back to me. I remember every little thing you used to do. I'm so lonely. Every road I walked along with you. No wonder I'm lonely. The sky is blue, the night is cold, the moon is new, my love is old. And while I'm waiting here, this heart of mine still singing, lover, come back to me. Lover, come back to me. Lover, come back. Lover, come back. Lover, come back to me. From playing a lot of music with my grandfather that Andrea mentioned, who passed away, but he was a cantor and a singer, I've learned how we transmit our stories and our feelings through song, how we can show who we are and who we aspire to be. And from what Andrea imparted to me about Manfred was how he loved how art could connect us and remind us of each other's humanity. And that is the message of this song that Oscar Hammerstein wrote in 1949 and was featured in South Pacific. You've got to be taught to hate and fear. You've got to be taught from year to year. It's got to be drummed in your dear little ear. You've got to be carefully taught. You've got to be taught to be afraid of people whose eyes are differently made and people whose skin is a different shade. You've got to be carefully taught. You've got to be taught before it's too late, before you are 6 or 7 or 8, to hate all the people your relatives hate. You've got to be carefully taught. You've got to be taught to hate and fear. You've got to be taught from year to year. It's got to be drummed in your dear little ear. You've got to be carefully
Thank you so much, Avi. We look forward to hanging out with you later. We always love you here. We're sorry that soprano Juliet Rand is ill with the flu and cannot perform my work to Manfred's poetry tonight. However, we've today finalized that she'll be able to perform on May 17th. So Julie, if you're watching the live stream, we send you great healing wishes for a quick recovery. It gives me such great pleasure to welcome Silvana Cardell, an Argentine-born choreographer, director, and educator to the Szalon stage. A 2022 Guggenheim Fellow in Choreography, she is the founder of Cardell Dance Theater. Her work bridges contemporary dance and theater rooted in German expressionist traditions and shaped by her bicultural background. She worked with Manfred at Group Motion as a dancer and choreographer. Silvana will perform Dear Cry to poetry by Manfred with music from Limbs by Daniel Wohl. Dear Cry is an improvised tribute to Manfred, who wrote the poem as an artistic exchange between he and Silvana during his convalescence. First shared within the community and carried across generations of artists, the piece continues the improvisational practice Silvana inherited from her mentor. It's so special to have you here with us tonight, Silvana. Let's give a big welcome to Silvana Cardell.
Ideas to play music. So this is a collaboration between these back and forth assignments. And then two of my students recorded the deer that you're going to see in the video. So we included another generation of mentoring. So I'm very pleased to be here and thank you very much. Is it possible to have less light?
Thank you so much, Silvana. We so appreciate you being here. I know you presented something at the salon that I hosted just after Manfred's death. I think that was online, and it's so wonderful to have you here in person with this incredible heritage being passed on and on and on. Our next performer, Susan Lambert, is also not coming. I'm sorry she won't be performing tonight. She hurt her back. However, our generous and super multi-talented friend, Michal Schmidt, has offered to perform the Brahms Fantasy Opus 116 on piano, a lovely tribute to Manfred's German heritage and to Salon history. This piece was composed in 1892. Let's welcome back to the stage Michal Schmidt.
Brahms' Opus 116 has 7 pieces. They're called fantasies, but they are capriccios and intermezzi. I recorded them in summer of 2023 and finished the last 2 out of 16 pieces on October 10, right after October 7 tragedy in Israel. It was very hard for me to do, but I was glad I was at the end of the project in October. I took 4 sessions to record them all. So I'm going to play the first 3 of the Opus 116. Now I have to organize my tech here. Cello chair is one height, piano chair is another. So.
Censure.
Thank you, my friend, for your kindness and generosity, and for playing this music. You know, I don't know how many of you listen to Johannes Brahms, but I've always felt that there's an understanding, an innate understanding of the complexity of humanity in this music, and it's shown with such a nobility and tenderness for the human condition. So I always love hearing Brahms, and so beautifully performed. And remember that Michal is playing a concert at the Ethical Society next Sunday at 3 p.m. if you'd like to hear that performance. Your generosity enables the Salon to continue and all of its artists to continue their vital creative work. The donation link is in the chat and on zalonarts.org. It's a simple way to show your appreciation through a tax-deductible gift. Thank you. I'm looking forward to having the creative power of EK Duo with Tom Burnett unleashed on the Salon stage next. I never quite know what they have in store, but they are a dynamic trio. EK Duo is Rachel Elliott and Thomas Kozemplik. They create spacious sound worlds colored by percussion, bassoon, and piano, although tonight it will just be bassoon and piano. They have toured internationally, performing at a wide range of venues. Joining the duo is New York City musician, director, performer Tom Burnett, who is happy to be presenting at the Salon and honoring his father, Howie, who began his life 2 blocks away at 16th and Pine in 1944. We're grateful that they came from New York City to perform for us tonight. So let's give it up for the EK Duo and Tom Burnett.
Back in Philly, been hopping down Daddy-O Lane. Had my pops on the Last Legs tour at 18th and South Street. Next stop, beyond the line, where the mind goes blind, ascending towards the shine, where we all gotta go sometime. Joining a river of play in a Milky Way. It's a slow roll of the soul. Born 1928, 1 year before the crash of 1929. Died 2009. 1 year after the crash of 2008. Full ride on the Circle Line between the crashes. Wowie, zowie, howie. Brooklyn born, Bronx baby, Tina Taft, and then the Penn, West Philly style. 16th and Pine, circa 1949. Starting with a pair, Delta full house, 4 of a kind, holding, folding, hedging bets, checking, calling, cashing out, all in with family, friends, and weekly poker pals. travels, triumphs, travails, around the world in 80 ways, living, laughing, loving, walking the lifelong lifeline. A tight walk sometimes, off balance, on again, moving forward from a fall. 8 decades unwind. From feeling fine to steady decline. To bones grown frail. And in the end, getting old was getting old. Hooked to IVs and beeping, bleeping medical machines, hospital hums and ICUs. The quiet, peaceful hospice views. Looking back out windows, watching passing clouds of Center City memories, scanning home terrain to 15th and Spruce and 16th and Pine. I have come full circle. This, my friends and family, is it for me. I am ready to go. But wanted this last chance. To wish you well. And thank you. I expect every hand in my new game will be a royal flush. Registered a squeeze, a fading grasp, counting the seconds from one deep breath to final gasp. Here and now, released from life exhaled. I gotta go unplugged. I demand to go unplugged. When I've got to stroll down the narrowing path to the ocean's toes, I demand to go unplugged. Wade into untouched water. Wind fills the soul, sail, breath, breeze, blown to the horizon line. Float from my body boat, slipping through the vanishing point to something only dreamed of. Pillow. Thank you to Andrea for having us, and the spirit of Manfred, and all of you here tonight. Thank you for coming.
Thank you all for performing that moving tribute. The title was Between the Crashes, a tribute to those gone and those still present. And Rachel had asked me to announce, and I'd forgotten, that she was wearing a dress made for this performance by Tara Lynn Couture. People ask me how I meet all of these musicians. Many are through the music world, and some at various artist residencies where I like to go to compose. I was fortunate to have met Richmond, Virginia-based Adrian Wood at the Virginia Center for the Creative Arts a few years ago, and we felt a resonance with one another and our works. Tonight, we'll go on a sound journey with Adrian, who performs as Sugarlift, and pianist Steph Roach. Adrian makes performances, videos, drawings, and sound compositions that deal with themes of political power and subversion in modes that are sometimes autobiographical. Steph has played keyboards with numerous groups and has toured internationally. Learn more about them on our program page. And now let's welcome Sugarlift and Steph Roach from Richmond, Virginia. Thank you both so much. You know, tonight I'm thinking about something that a Zen monk that I studied with said to me once. There are no buts, there are only ands. There's this and this and this and this, and you can put them all in a warehouse and just look at all the ands. And I feel like tonight in so many performances there have been this like a nurturing piano and a jarring sound, or something familiar and something unfamiliar, or, you know, with Megan, something that's both fierce and soft, or Silvana's, you know, something that was brutal and also expansive. So I think that was part of Manfred's work, was embracing all of those ands. So everyone, do check out the program page to learn more about all of our artists tonight. We're now moving back to the virtual stage for the last performance, so I change my station. Those of you on Zoom, please get your drink of choice ready for our customary toast. This will take place after the next artist performs. Here in my home, we'll enjoy a dinner reception. I'm grateful to Michael Firman for offering a reflective and prayerful close to our evening about love, loss, liminality, and so much more with a traditional Japanese shakuhachi solo, a prayer for departed loved ones. Michael has studied the shakuhachi and its music since 1990, attaining the rank of Shihan, teacher's certificate. He teaches, lectures, and performs actively. As you listen to his music, you're invited to bring those you have loved and lost into your heart. Let's welcome from Naperville, Illinois, Michael Firman. That's the Japanese title.
It's tamuke,
Tamuke.
which means put your hands together in prayer.
It was just beautiful, and thank you for that perfect ending to our evening, sharing your prayer with us tonight.
Thank you.
So
Thank you for having me.
If you can stay on, we'd love to talk with you during the Q&A.
Sure.
You really have transported us to a place of great beauty and grace in honor of Manfred and all who have suffered loss. Thank you so very much. Everyone, a last reminder that you can make a tax-deductible donation. Any amount helps to the Salon and its performers by clicking on the link in the chat or by going to our website's homepage. My team and I are happy to volunteer to keep this almost 40-year heart space of arts alive. I want to thank all of the performers for this inspired, connected, and heart-opening evening honoring Manfred. At its heart, and as Manfred so strongly believed, the Salon celebrates how music's transformative power and all arts' power can bring us together and nurture peace and connection in our world. This magic happens through our performers who give so generously of their art and passion. Let's show them some of our deepest appreciation, all of the artists. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And to our incredible Salon tech team making magic with the sound and the stage and the image, please wave or spotlight yourselves so everyone can see the wizards behind the mixing boards and the monitors. And to our house team as well for caring for our musicians and audience, we are profoundly grateful. Thank you so, so very much. Looking ahead, there are 2 more salons this season, April 26th and May 17th. To receive advanced invitations with dates, links, and programs, please email me at aclearfield@gmail.com. I'm excited to share that I'm completing a 3-year project, Long Live the Queen, a Her Story of Drag, which is a cantata opera hybrid with my fabulous collaborator, drag queen extraordinaire, Cookie Diorio. You'll get to meet and hear Cookie perform at the April 26th Salon and hear the premiere with 100 folks on stage at the Wilma Theater, June 18th, 19th, and 20th. Lastly, there's a room for rent here in the Salon House, perfect for art studio, massage, healing arts therapy, office, or business. So please write to me or speak to me if you're interested. And now it's time for our traditional toast. Please raise your glasses to arts, to community, to peace, to Manfred. Cheers.